Yo, what's up? This is my first time checking in since last year's NFC Championship game. Um, you know, it did suck we lost that game last year, but me personally, as much as that sucked, I got over it really quickly because I spent the next few days in Arizona on vacation. And then I was lucky enough to go down to Florida to visit a bunch of my friends, so fortunately that was the thing that healed the pain from that loss, I guess you could say. Just vacation, I guess. But, the Super Bowl was good. That was a good Super Bowl. I'm glad the Steelers won because I didn't want the Cardinals to win. The Cardinals I think, are still a great team. They played great in the Super Bowl. But just like the Eagles, like 4 years ago, just came up short. Anyway. This is my first time, like I said before, checking in. I didn't really make any off-season videos or draft videos, so I guess I'll touch on that stuff real quickly. But the thing that sticks out to me the most in this off-season, besides Jim Johnson passing, because that's the most important thing, I'll touch on that in a few minutes, was Brian Dawkins leaving. That got me so upset. I mean, see, in this time of tragedy with losing Jim Johnson, I'm kind of hesitant to rip any of the Eagles owners, but I'll basically bring you back to what I've been thinking in March. This is basically what I was thinking back in March when we let go of Brian Dawkins. I was pissed. I mean, I think that was probably one of the very few times in my life that I basically said fuck you to anyone involved with the Eagles. And, one of them was T.O., and the second time was Jeffrey Lurie and Joe Banner. And I back in March I just said fuck them. Because, they're just so arrogant with the way they deal with money. They're basically saying, oh, Brian Dawkins didn't pay us back. And then they barely offered him any money for all he's done for our city. That shit just pisses me off. We give up Brian Dawkins. That frustrated the hell out of me. That really did. That said, I mean, to me, it's one thing when you release Takeo Spikes like you did the year before, or you give up Jeremiah Trotter. Those two examples, which pissed me off too. But to give up Brian Dawkins for the 13 seasons he's been here, for everything he's done for the city, in my opinion, he was one of the very, very few Eagles in the past 10 years that really understood our fans, that really understood our city, that was passionate and showed a ton of pride on the field. This isn't just your player, every other player that just works hard and is good like McNabb or Westbrook. You're talking about a player that understands the city, gives it all out, would kill himself to win a game. I mean, and you give him up. I mean, I think I had every right, and every Eagle fan had a right to just give the middle finger to Jeffrey Lurie and Joe Banner, because that's basically almost betrayal to the fans, because he represented our franchise. He was the face of our franchise. You can argue that with Donovan McNabb, maybe, but Brian Dawkins was the face of our franchise, and we give him up. I mean, that's unbelievable. I could not believe I heard we couldn't resign him, and it just shows how much Jeffrey Lurie and Joe Banner are not committed to winning. If they were committed to winning, they'd put in that extra money to get him. It pissed me off to see him just standing up on that podium that day with whoever it was who was some businessman involved with the Broncos, talking about how excited he was getting Brian Dawkins and seeing him in that light orange jersey. Pissed me off. It doesn't mix, in my opinion. Just the orange jersey on Brian Dawkins, just in the blue and orange helmet with the Bronco on the side, just doesn't mix. It does not mix at all. And you could see up there, Brian Dawkins kind of had a half smile. I could tell he was upset that Jeffrey Lurie and Joe Banner basically slighted him by not re-signing him. And that pissed me off beyond belief. then, I guess, switching over to the draft, it was a good draft. We did get Jeremy Maclin and LaShawn McCoy. Those are basically the two top guys I think will make an immediate impact, depending on how Westbrook does. They're saying Westbrook will be ready by week 1, but you never know how that stuff works out. But I'm sure Shady McCoy will get the ball at some point this year, and he's a great college player. And same with Jeremy Maclin. But I mean, it's a whole other game. We also had some good all-season signings like Jason Peters, Stacey Andrews, safety Sean Jones. But they're great signings. I'll give them that. But I mean, just you give up Brian Dawkins. That's just something that you just cannot repair unless you win a Super Bowl. Yeah, that's all I can say about that. Training camp again. Like I said, I'd touch on Jim Johnson passed away. I mean, it really hurt. It really hurt to just see that. It really got me upset. You know, he was a great guy, a hard worker, and I was just really upset. You know, I don't even know what else to say. But actually, you know what? I was at Eagles Flight Night, and they had these great shirts. I did not buy one, but it said, "Win it for Jimmy." And that's basically how I will pay my respects, I guess you could say, to Jim Johnson. Every time we win, first thought will be Jim Johnson. You know, and I want to win a Super Bowl for Jim Johnson. You know, he may have passed away, but I'll always remember Jim Johnson. So hopefully, you know, he rests in peace. It's just sad, but I mean, it's just the way it goes, I guess. We'll always remember him, and just we had great times, great moments with Jim Johnson. So let's just win the Super Bowl for Jim Johnson this year, if not this year, the next year, and so on and so on. When we do win that Super Bowl, we'll be pointing up and thinking of Jim Johnson and praising him. But as for the rest of the training camp, it has not been good. You have Stuart Bradley get injured, done for the season. Same with Cornelius Ingram, rookie tight end. That really blows up our tight end position. Now, who do you have now? Like Matt Schovel. I mean, it sucks. I mean, we've been decimated with injuries. I believe Kevin Curtis was injured. Deshaun Jackson, Hank Baskett today. You know, this stuff hurts, but you know what? On Thursday night we have our first preseason matchup of the year: Patriots and Eagles. Tom Brady will play. I'm not sure who will get the start at quarterback for the Eagles. I don't really care. I obviously really don't care who wins. I mean, it'd be nice if the Eagles win. If not, oh well. But you know, hopefully, you know, the rookies just I guess get in shape basically, and just learn. I guess get the learning curve right away. Figure out our playbook and everything, and you know, we'll go on from there. Just the thing I just preach for the preseason is just to stay injury free. That's all I'm saying. People are going to be fighting for their jobs, and you know, hopefully Andy Reid just picks the right players. I believe training camp ends tomorrow, so thank God. I can't stand all these freaking injuries to the Eagles. Anyway, that's all I got. Looking forward to this 2009 season. Before the season starts, I'll come out with my expectations and maybe some predictions. All right, go Birds.